Dydd Gwyl, Dewi Hapus. A very happy St David's Day to you. Welcome to Match Day Live from a sun-kissed Stoke Kai Ras. Wrexham in the lunchtime kick-off this afternoon, a 12:30 start against in-form Bolton Wanderers, a team who've won 5 of their last 6 matches to make a surge from mid-table to the periphery of the playoff places. A tough test for Phil Parkinson against one of the clubs he managed to promotion earlier in his career. But Wrexham invigorated from victory at Mansfield last time out in the league will hope to put right recent patchy home form and get their promotion push right back on track this afternoon. Mia Roberts and Andy Morell alongside me in the North Walian sunshine. Andy, it's nice to see that spring has sprung.
Unseen in 5 months, and it's nice to get the coat off, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And enjoy a bit of sunshine. I've just got to protect those little the forehead a little bit in this sunshine. It might be turning that sort of colour by the end.
You didn't know you'd be needing sunscreen today, Andy, did you?
Who knew?
Who knew indeed. Mia, Bolton Wanderers coming as the informed team to the Stoke Kai Ras this afternoon. We were saying something similar a couple of weeks ago when Leyton Orient rocked up. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky, the fixture computer, if you end up facing teams at the peak of their form just at the time you might not want them.
No, absolutely. I think they're just second in the form table to Birmingham at the moment, and they're a bit of an anomaly, if anything. So they're going to be right up for it today. They're I think just off playoffs on goal difference. There's obviously another big game for them today in Charlton against Leyton Orient, and that's massive. They'll be coming here thinking if they can get 3 points, that puts a lot of pressure on them too later on. But no, they're a bit of a different team to what they played against us in the trophy, because they've got a few players back from injury and cup ties and various other things. So they'll be right up for it today, and I think they'll be coming here, like you say, in form, looking to get a big win.
You might be getting a bit of white noise just behind Mia there. That's nothing to do with us on Match Day Live. There's a bit of an issue with the PA system at the moment inside the ground. So
the tide was coming in.
Sorted soon. Yeah, it sounds like there's a Force 8 gale has just come whipping through, but hopefully that can soon be rectified. Yeah, tough test, as Mia says, Andy, today against a team who beat Leyton Orient last week at home. Apparently were very impressive and have got some weapons in attack. Aaron Collins, John McAtee.
Yeah, absolutely, and we obviously played them recently in the cup and managed to come out winners, but a couple of changed teams in that. Yeah, they are the form team, and I think the change of manager has really lifted the group to a different level, and they look a little bit different. They play slightly different to they did do under Ian Evatt, and they have, like you say, got threats. Collins coming in, I would have thought today he started on the bench last week. Will make a big difference. He's got legs, he's a good athlete, and he's got a goal in him as well. And same as McAtee, 3 in the last 2 games. He'll be looking to notch again today as well. So certainly got threats, but they're a little bit more defensively minded. They don't play as much as they did do under Ian Evatt, but they've got threats all over, and we'll have to be a bang on our game. Hopefully for me, us on the front foot, please just go after them a little bit and see what happens.
Let's have a look at the team then that Phil Parkinson has selected for this afternoon's fixture against the Trotters, and it sees just one change to the starting 11 from the team who chiselled out that victory on a horrible day for weather at Mansfield just under a week ago. Andy Cannon, of course, suffering a horrible ruptured ACL in that game, and that means that there is an opportunity in midfield for a return for Matty James, who replaced Cannon at Field Mill on Sunday. So Okonkwo in goal, back 3, Cleworth, O'Connell and O'Connor. Longman is preferred to Ryan Barnett at right wing back. Seb Ravan, who's so impressed at Mansfield, continues at left wing back. Matty James will anchor the middle, George Dobson to his right, Ollie Rathbone to his left, and the new front 2 once again, Sam Smith and Jay Rodriguez. On the bench, James McLean makes a return alongside Dan Scarr, Ryan Barnett, Elliot Lee, Steve Fletcher and Jack Marriott, and Mark Howard is the substitute goalkeeper. I'm guessing, Mia, not too many surprises there. Phil Parkinson rewarding the team who did so well last Sunday.
Yeah, I thought they were brilliant last Sunday at Mansfield, particularly in that second half. Someone who stood out for me was Matty James, to come on in that game. It was, it wasn't easy that first half, it was quite end-to-end. I thought Wrexham did well, but equally probably let Mansfield have too many opportunities in that first half, and then in the second just really nullified them, and Matty James was probably the man to thank for that. So yeah, no surprise to see him back in today, and I don't think there should be many excuses to say we're not as fresh as Bolton, really. I think that's 9 changes from that Wednesday team, so hopefully they're right up for it today. They know they've got something to prove now in the league. All focus is on that.
The fact that there were so many different players deployed midweek, Mia, do you think that will lessen a little bit the impact in the dressing room of the disappointment of that defeat?
Yeah, I think it's always difficult when there is changes and you've got to sort of adapt. I think obviously these boys know how Phil Parkinson wants them to play. He doesn't change it too often, hardly changes it really. So there shouldn't be excuses in that way. But when you are next to different lads each week, it can make things a lot more difficult. But yeah, with a different group coming out today, you'd like to think that's not on their minds at all, and they're just fully focused on getting 3 points.
Andy, we've discussed before that having brought Ryan Longman in, there is real competition now in that right wing back slot. Ryan Barnett got the nod in midweek, but it's back with Longman with the starting shirt this afternoon, despite Barnett being the leading assist maker in the division. Does that surprise you at all?
Well, I think we said it before on Matchday Live that I think they're just going to flick-flack now till the rest of the season. One will start, one will and rest, and they'll just hopefully both be fresh, ready to go whenever needed. I thought Longman did okay at Mansfield, better the more he went on, if you like, but I thought Barney was really good when he came on. Barney not so good on Wednesday, but we didn't have a lot of the ball on Wednesday for him to get high and wide and do his stuff. So I think they'll just flick-flack. So Barney playing Wednesday, I think they'll just go back to Longman today, hopefully get 70-75 minutes out of him, and then bring Barnett on to really get us over the line, hopefully.
Elliot Lee again on the bench, Mia. We saw him for a few minutes on Wednesday, obviously, as he comes back from that nasty car accident. But an opportunity potentially for him in a similar vein to maybe Ryan Barnett to come and try and make an impact in the final quarter. He is the joint leading scorer, of course.
Yeah, he's a massive player for us, and I think maybe someone who's gone under the radar a little bit so far this season. But no, I think Phil said himself, before the game on Wednesday, that he's come back a little bit earlier than first expected after obviously the accident. But he needs to, because obviously losing Andy Cannon's a massive blow for us. And I know we've got someone like Harry Ashfield waiting in the wings, but you've got to remember he's still really unexperienced, yet to get minutes in the league at all. So we need someone like Elliot to really stand up and make sure he's putting in the performances. And I know obviously he's going to be coming back from getting his fitness back, so we can't expect that immediately. But he's experienced enough now as a player, and he's done it on here before in the biggest of occasions. So hopefully today he can get on and make a difference.
A bit too soon for me to start. He had a few minutes on Wednesday. Dobson obviously he's just had a fitness test before the game just to see his ankle. Obviously it's okay to go, which is great news, because we don't want 2 out of our midfield on the sidelines. So I'm sure that Dobson will just go for it for 60, and then we'll see Elliot Lee at some point.
Yeah, Dobson's going to be increasingly important, isn't he, in the absence of Andy Cannon, because we spoke all season about squad depth. George Evans, of course, doesn't make the 18 today, but Dobson's versatility to either play that centre role or the right of the 3, and he's got so much experience at the business end of the season in League One, Andy. Yeah,
he's just got energy in abundance as well, and when him and Rathbone are right on it, they're a real pair to go at a centre midfield, if you like, and he's got quality, he's shown that already. Yes, I think his better stuff has been in that defensive one, but I think he certainly gives us something as well alongside alongside Rathbone as well. When we are chasing and we need to harry and put defenders under pressure, I would like to see him on the front foot today. I'd like to see him going for, when they are playing out, going for that centre half and really us squeezing the pitch and making it hard for the opposition to play.
And Mia, Arthur Okonkwo back in goal. Of course, there was a little spell. He came back post-injury. Then Phil Parkinson felt he'd perhaps come back too soon. Mark Howard went between the sticks. But perhaps those penalty saves have given Phil further confidence that Arthur's getting close to back to his pre-injury best now, and he's very much the number one again.
Yeah, I still don't think he's 100%, but...
Do you not?
I don't honestly know, but I think, he's showing the signs, and the only way he's going to get back to 100% is by playing games. That's how you've got to do it. So, I think he's building his confidence back up again, but I think we saw Callum Burton a bit earlier, doing some back on the grass out there, which is great to see as well. And that only helps Arthur, because that puts the pressure right back on him again. He knows he's got to perform. I know he's got Mark Howard behind him as well, but someone like Callum Burton pushes him even more.
This match, of course, not the only match at 12:30 today in the Sky Bet League One. Birmingham City square up to Wycombe Wanderers, so 1 plays 2 at St Andrews. from a Wrexham perspective. A Birmingham win would be very nice. Technically, Wrexham could go second today if they comprehensively beat Bolton Wanderers and Wycombe are beaten heavily in the Midlands, but I'm not sure that's Phil Parkinson's number one priority. However he gets 3 points is probably going to be enough for one afternoon. A very tough test against Bolton ahead. Let's have a look at the reminder of the League One table as we start the afternoon's fixture here in North Wales, and that will show you that Bolton Wanderers are only outside the playoff places on goal difference. They have made a fair surge forward and now sit on 53 points, only goal difference, as I say, separating them from Leyton Orient in the final playoff place in 6th. Wrexham, of course, up against Bolton today and then Huddersfield on Tuesday night. So a busy 3 or 4 days ahead for Phil Parkinson's team. Probably too early, Andy, to say it's season defining because we've still got 14 matches to play. But this one on Tuesday, certainly a pair of key games.
Yeah, I think the next 5 are key. I think the next 14 are even more key, unfortunately. But, you know, you look at a game by game and we'll say, oh, we've got to win that. But everybody's playing everybody in this league, and anybody can beat anybody on their day. And so you've got to just do what you need to do, and that's today. Let's beat Bolton at home. Let's get our home form back on track. I think this place needs to be rocking today. It really needs to get behind the team and give them that boost that they're desperate for. And then we'll see where we go after that. Yeah,
the crowd have certainly got a part to play. I can see Phil Parkinson is ready to join us to give us his thoughts. He's the man who's put the Wrexham team on the park. Phil, nice to see you in the sunshine. It feels almost spring-like, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a beautiful day.
Now then, just the one change from the win at Mansfield. That one enforced on you, of course, with Andy Cannon's injury. A reflection of how pleased you were with the 11 who did the job for you at Field Mill?
Yeah, I thought it was a complete performance from us in difficult conditions, and you know, we went back to that yesterday in terms of showing the lads some periods of that game which I thought we did particularly well in. So looking to replicate that today.
I saw in your programme notes you mentioned Andy Cannon's surgeries coming up this week. What more do we know at the moment about the prognosis, or is it a little bit too early still?
No, he's ruptured his cruciate ligament, so generally that's a 9-month time scale for him. But straight away when there's a lot of swelling in the joint, it's difficult to kind of like do the operation, so the specialists just put it back another week to let the swelling go down.
Clearly in midweek, a disappointing outcome, but very different personnel in general deployed for that one. How much time have you spent picking over the bones of that since that game, or has that been something you've looked to move on quickly with psychologically with the group?
Yeah, obviously we had a meeting with the boys yesterday about it, and spoken out about what lies ahead, because you can't look back too much in football. And like I say, what an exciting 14 games we've got coming up at the start of the season. You know, we set out, could we be the team which makes history, you know, and we've got an opportunity to do that, starting with today. Today's got a feeling of a big game atmosphere. You can sense it all around the ground already, and it's going to be a great game.
And a Bolton side in town, Phil, in really good form, winning 5 of their last 6. You had a chance to have a look at them, of course, in the Virtue Trophy a couple of weeks back. What are your expectations of how Stephen Schumacher's side are going to set up?
Yeah, I think they started 4-3-3 last week against Orient, and they changed at half-time and went like a 4-2-3-1 with McAtee just off Collins, and that's the team they've picked today. So we've kind of prepared against that. So that's always, when the team gets selected, you're expecting that's always like good for us, because we haven't wasted the time on the training pitch. But I think more than that, and we touched on Bolton yesterday, but I think it's about us imposing ourselves on them today, without the ball. But with the ball as well, like we did at Mansfield. You know, we spoke to the players yesterday about Max and Tommy, how progressive they were in possession against Mansfield, and you know, when the ball's on the side of Max, we want him to play like a right back and join in, because he's so good in those areas, and the same as Tommy. And we've looked at that today, and can we keep that progressiveness in our play and give them problems, because I think our shape against there's 2 different shapes on view. We know kind of how to nullify their shape. They're dangerous in wide areas, but can we impose our shape onto them? And we spoke about that with the lads today, and we're looking for that, plus an aggression in our play.
And just finally, Phil, once more, Jay Rodriguez and Sam Smith paired up front. How pleased have you been in seeing how they've gelled more on the training ground as the weeks are passing?
Yeah, very good. I think with Jay, he's come into us without a lot of regular starts, and that's why we just took him out this week to do some sharp training, and he looked great in the last 2 days in training. He's a brilliant professional, and he's very intelligent with and without the ball, and obviously Sam's had a good start to his career.
Well, Phil, thanks very much for joining us, and all the best today. Thank you very much indeed. Phil Parkinson, the Wrexham manager. Let's have a look at today's fixtures in League One to see who else is in action where this afternoon. As we've said, there's the 2 games at 12:30 involving teams at the very top of the table. Barnsley facing Lincoln City, Bristol Rovers facing Rotherham, Burton Albion against Mansfield. That's a key game at the bottom. Burton have been really improving under Gary Bowyer. Mansfield on the slide at the moment. Crawley against Cambridge, another one below the waterline of relegation. Struggling Exeter facing Northampton. So 3 matches on the spin there involving teams right in the lower regions. Leyton Orient against Charlton is a tasty East London derby. Peterborough face Shrewsbury. Stevenage have got Huddersfield. Stockport going well face Blackpool, and it's Wigan Athletic against Reading. Some key matchups today, Mia, at both ends of the table.
Yeah, absolutely massive, and it's obviously different to last weekend where we knew the scores that had gone our way and the sort of pressure was on us then to follow it up, whereas today we can put the pressure on some of those around us. So I think that Leyton Orient Charlton one's massive, obviously particularly for Bolton as well. They'll be probably open for a draw, I imagine, but then obviously we're looking at that Birmingham one thinking, right, come on Blues, really, can you get one over Wickham? Obviously we've then got to do the business as well, but that'd be massive. And then obviously going further down, that Shrewsbury Peterborough one, it looks really tasty as well. I'll be certain to keep an eye on that one later.
Phil, as ever, Andy, very well across opposition in terms of personnel and setup. But of course, Bolton Wanderers, a team he led to promotion from this league up into the Championship. I've just seen him have a very nice reception from the Bolton fans there. Does that add an extra level of motivation and determination for a manager when you come up against a former club? Or is it that the levels of professionalism are just so high anyway that it feels just like another game?
Yeah, I think that is it. He'll take it as just another game, but in the back of his mind, he'll remember the times that he's had at that club and the fondness that he has for the club. He'll just want to beat them today, and then he'll probably hope that they do well and get on and do well for the rest of the season. But I think it's back of your mind, let's beat them. They're in front of us, they're the next one, that's the next hurdle that we've got to get over. Let's do that.
Well, we touched briefly on our interview with Phil Parkinson with this action from midweek, where the Virtue Trophy semi-final against Peterborough United didn't quite go to plan.
Max, he's looked for an ambitious ball for Fall. That's a sensational ball. Fall lobs the keeper. Oh, what a goal! Out of nothing! Out of nothing! Cleworth with a sensational pass down the right channel. Fall, great pace and strength.
Well, completely against the run of play. And this time it's Cleworth that plays the forward pass. Whether it's meant for Fall or whether it's Marriott, only he will know. But he was put under pressure. But what he does do, he just plays it in behind, give him something to run onto, and then Mo Fall turns on the turbo boosters, gets his arm round the defender Whalen, gets his body in the way, and then, like you say, has the awareness to just lift the ball over Steer and into the empty net.
Yeah, brilliant from Max Cleworth, and then even better from Mo Fall.
No, exactly. Ball's played forwards. Oh, Barnes and well to nod that down. Now then, Fall having to hold her up. Hasn't got many viable targets. He has held her up well. But Dobson, snappy first-time ball to Barnett, who rips the cross in. And Marriott doesn't make it. Mendy in the far side drills it back in the goal mouth. Should be 2, is 2. George Dobson, his first goal for Wrexham, was sharp there, 6 yards out.
Yeah, Wrexham 2-0 up. I'm not sure they deserve it.
How?
But it's a brilliant initial ball in from Ryan Barnett. No one there to just head that one in. Falls to Mendy, who takes his time, shows real composure on that ball, whips one in, just keeps it low and hard. And I'm not sure who actually leaves it for Dobson. Was it Jack Marriott? I'm not too sure. But he just leaves it. He's the one in the better position, better balance, and he finishes it really well. 2-0.
Now then, here is Odo, and that's a good ball. I reckon it's onside. Hazel, Tribble Okonkwo, who brings him down. Penalty. Mothersill steps up, right-footed, stutters, and saved by Okonkwo. The rebound is in, though. Oh, that's the second time this has happened to Okonkwo this season.
I think he's telling Fernandez that's where he should be.
That's right, yeah. That's a good diagonal, nodded in, loose, and Mothersill looks to get there. He goes to score, he does score. Honvien walked through Wrexham's defence. What a mess that was by Wrexham. Totally failed to deal with that. And Honvien just bundled his way through, and poor Okonkwo totally exposed. Honvien's taking his time, steps up and drills it, hits the post and goes in. Oh, Bullen gets to go ahead, steps up, a saved. He went for power down the middle. Okonkwo on his toes. Mothersill right-footed. Save! That's a hell of a save. Steps up and drills it in. Wrexham steps across as the ref blows the whistle, and he goes the wrong way. De Havilland drills it in the box. Here he goes now, right-footed. Saved. He tried he gets to go ahead. Left-footed, steps up and scores. That's a great... Steps up, left-footed, good penalty. Gets to go ahead, right-footed, drills it and scores, and Peterborough have knocked Wrexham out in the semi-final.
Heartbreak in the penalty shootout then on Wednesday night against Peterborough United. Wrexham looking like they had a foot into Wembley Stadium's arch at half-time when they led 2-0. But Peterborough United haven't read the script. It was no dream Hollywood final against Birmingham City. It'll be an all-blue affair on Sunday, April the 13th. So Wrexham will not be taking part in that final. Andy, it was a disappointing night, but of course, the one positive out of it all is all things can be geared to the league running now. There's no distractions of any type. 14 matches can be totally focused on, and a squad assembled and organised to give Phil Parkinson best chance of trying to push potentially for second place.
Yeah, I think we all would have liked a Wembley trip, I think, between us, wouldn't we? It always adds a little spice to the season, but yeah, you can always find a positive out of it, and that is we've got full guns blazing now for this second place in the league, and if we can start today and then get that fully squad on that path of this is what our aim is to do, is to get out of this league, then hopefully everybody will play their part to do that.
This match, of course, a 12:30 kickoff today. Wrexham against Bolton Wanderers. If you're just joining us on Match Day Live, just the one change from the starting 11 who beat Mansfield. Andy Cannon's injury bringing Matty James back into the side. Well, if you're a regular watcher of Match Day Live, you'll know that each week we try and catch up with a player who represented both clubs involved in the game. A few weeks ago, Wrexham placed Bolton in the Virtue Trophy quarter-final, and we caught up with former goalkeeper Gavin Ward. But when we made that cut, we weren't able to see all of Gavin's recollections, so now's a chance to see part 2 of the memories of the former Wrexham and Bolton number 1.
You'd had a spell, of course, in the Premier League with Leicester City before arriving at Bolton. And then your time at Wanderers, of course, saw the team moving not just stadia from the very historic but probably crumbling Burnden Park to what was at the time incredibly futuristic Reebok Stadium, as it was known, but also moving between the Premier League and the Championship and back up to the Premier League again. So eventful on and off the pitch for you.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it was a time where the Premiership was really starting to gather momentum, I suppose. You know, when I was previously at Leicester, it was the second year of the Premiership, so it was a sort of a new thing, you know, and everything was sort of moving. But then like I say, to go back into the Premiership was it was fantastic. You know, some of the players that were obviously coming into the Premiership at that point, you know, real international superstars. I mean, my first game actually, when I went back to Bolton, was at Burnden Park. I think I played for Bradford on the Tuesday away at Wycombe, if I remember rightly. And then the Wednesday we were off. I'd then gone up to Bolton on the Wednesday, signed on the Wednesday afternoon, and then was playing against Chelsea at Burnden Park on the Saturday. Playing against Wycombe on the Tuesday night, and then playing against the likes of Ruud Gullit, Frank Leboeuf, I think Zola was playing as well, you know, these superstars who were in Chelsea's team that, you know, I'd watched previously on the TV. Again, here I am in the big league, and yeah, fantastic. We won, I think, 2, or we drew. I can't remember. I think we drew 2 each on that one, Chris, if I remember rightly. But yeah, it was a bit of a muddy pitch at Burnden in those days as well. So yeah, I don't think they particularly liked our pitch at that point, because it was the last season at Burnden. So I think we kept it muddy and a bit boggy, you know, for the opposition to come and to play on, maybe.
Wind forward in your career a decade, Gavin, to January 2008, and you were in what was probably the twilight of your playing days when Brian Little invited you to sign for Wrexham on an 18-month deal. You'd actually been at Chester, just across the way, coaching prior to your move to the club, and we then saw you represent the Red Dragons over 50 times. What are your memories of your arrival at Wrexham and of a period of tough results in that time when you were at the club?
Yeah, like you said, like you mentioned there, Chris, I was player coach at Chester at the time in the second division, in the same league. And then I got a call. Brian had gone in. I'd previously played for Brian at 2 or 3 clubs. So I knew Brian very well, knew exactly what he wanted to do. And got a call from Brian, and just said, look, yeah, do you want to come in here, son? He said, obviously, at the moment, we're struggling. We'll try and get this fantastic football club going. And I knew all about Wrexham, you know. Good friend of mine, Brian Carey, who was an ex-player who had played at Leicester with, he'd played at Wrexham for a long time, and then obviously consequently coached and then managed briefly at Wrexham. So, you know, I knew, and I kept in touch with Brian, so I knew what the club was all about, and I knew what the club was and the traditions of the football club. So yeah, it was a no-brainer for me. Of course it was, yeah. To join back up with Brian and obviously to meet up with Brian Carey again and to play for Wrexham, yeah, of course. It was always, you know, that was never going to be in doubt. And obviously went in. We were struggling, yeah. The club was struggling, obviously, on the pitch. But the facilities we had then at the training ground, it was fantastic, and thoroughly enjoyed my time there. That first season was tough. Of course it was. We ended up getting relegated. But me personally, I really enjoyed myself. Really enjoyed myself. The twilight of my career, like you say, Chris, sort of late 30s. I was still in good condition then. Always looked after myself. And I built up a little rapport with the Wrexham fans. I loved it. Just loved playing there. Obviously, playing there for Cardiff City against Wrexham back in the day, in the late 80s, early 90s. You know, it was a fantastic atmosphere at the racecourse. Always was. And to go back there, and we were struggling, but we were still getting crowds of 9, 10, 11, 12,000 in the bigger games, you know. I mean, the support fan base has always been there, Chris, as you know. And no, it was just a privilege to play for Wrexham, even though, you know, it was tough. Of course it was tough. And we ended up not staying in the league that year, which, yeah, obviously going there, we thought we could stay up in the league and kick on from there. So it was, yeah, it was obviously bad news when we went down. It was bad news for everybody, of course.
Great to hear that you enjoyed your time at the club so much, Gavin, despite it being some of the darkest hours that the club have been through. When you look now from your role at Cardiff at what's happening at Wrexham, what's your reaction and emotion when you see how the wheel has turned?
Well, firstly, I mean, with obviously the famous backers that came into Wrexham, you know, everybody was inquisitive to see what was going to happen, and obviously always keeping an eye on Wrexham's results, as I do a lot of my clubs I've played for, but certain ones because I've got fond memories, and Wrexham being one. But like you say, maybe a strange thing to say that, but I really enjoyed my time when I played at Wrexham. Fantastic with the fans. I had a good rapport with the fans, and obviously seeing what's happened consequently in the last few years, and you know, I'd seen this snowball season after season. It's been fantastic and very interesting to watch.
Former Premier League goalkeeper Gavin Ward, who moved up and down the footballing divisions in his days with Bolton Wanderers and Wrexham, and now the goalkeeping coach at Cardiff City. Mia, I've always been interested as to how you calibrate a goalkeeper, because with an outfield player, if you look at the different divisions, you'll say, well, as you go up the leagues, fitness goes up, technical quality goes up, consistency goes up. There are some quite straightforward measures. But for a goalkeeper, how would you look at whether someone can play at Premier League level versus, say, the Championship?
Yeah, I think, of course you look at the usual measures like you say, but I think look at some of the best goalkeepers in the world, Alisson, Ederson in the Premier League, and for me it's distribution has to become a big part of your game. A lot of these teams now in the modern day are playing out from the back, and that all starts with the goalkeeper having that calm and confidence on the ball. So for me, distribution's a big factor of that, and that's something I think maybe the likes of Arthur and our sort of goalkeepers could work on going forward.
And Andy, Gavin Ward making the mention there of Brian Carey as being someone at the club he knew when he arrived from their days at Leicester City, someone you played with many times. What are your recollections of Brian?
Well, a leader right from the front, in the trenches with you, and he was coming to the back end of his career when we were here, but Dennis Smith worked out that he was a proper leader and he could organise people around him, and he put him right in the middle of a three and he just organised the other two and taught them through the game basically. And great guy, great person off the pitch. You'd follow him, proper professional, a really good character to have in your change rooms. And he also managed here as well. So he's got a big part. He's now at Reading, I think, doing behind the scenes over at Reading. So really good guy.
So whilst Wednesday night was a tough one for the Wrexham men's team here against Peterborough, the women were having some very different experiences down in South Wales. They went to Swansea knowing that a win would be essential if they were going to make it into the top four of the Adran Premier League table. Let's have a reminder of how it all played out.
Who gets it back, Idendon on the volley, good block, and it'll fall here now, and the shot is hit low, it's saved initially, and then it's in on the rebound. Ava Suckley sucks it up. Excellent reaction, and Wrexham have the advantage just past the half hour in this crucial game. Scoring intent was Ava Suckley, but here comes Swansea now, and they've levelled things up. What a response that is from the Swans. Hits it away. Forward now for Idendon, pursuing this one. She's going to get there. Excellent pace from Idendon. Can she get the shot away? She can! And Wrexham are back in front. Abby Idendon, take a bow. She got the better of Miller. Was cool, classy and clinical. She can't stop scoring. They've come back already. In comes the searching cross, it's a good one, and it's her again. Katie Hosford with the second equaliser. She scored several times against Wrexham in the past, and it's the captain who comes up trumps. Swansea 2, Wrexham 2. Wrexham needs a win, but Stacey John Davies is there. That could be a huge save. It's a massive moment in the game, isn't it? For Deacon. And here's Thomas's cross. Oh, what a save by the legs of Craven, and again. And it's an overhead kick onto the bar, and then Hosford on the follow-up. Well, all hands to the pump here. How on earth did Swansea fail to score there? It's a fantastic tally. Now here they come, Swansea going all the way. What a run from the sub, another great save. Hosford on the follow-up, and then the block comes in. All hands to the pump, they're all working so hard. Final minute of the 90. Wrexham need a goal into the near post. It'll break now for Lovett. Good save. Surely it's in. Yes, Wrexham have scored in the last minute. Karen Allen, take a bow. What a moment for her. And that should get the Red Dragons into the top four. 4 minutes allotted. This is the third minute of it. Stacey John Davis waits in the middle, but it's Hosford, the captain, swings it in, the header against the bar. Well, they've led a charmed life at times of Wrexham. That would work. The frame of the goal's been hit twice now by Swansea. It's Hosford, the captain, who scored earlier on. Right-footed corner, clawed away. Will it be completed, the clearance? It will be a goal kick, and I think that should be that. And yeah, Craven with an immense performance will bring you. Can Wrexham's women get over the line here? It's with Jess Williams to take the free kick. It's wide, and that should be it. There is the final whistle. What a magnificent performance from the Wrexham women. That was quite superb. They've won a 5-goal thriller, and they finish the first phase in the top 4. They leapfrog Swansea in the standings. It's the first time ever the Swansea women haven't been in the top 4 for the second phase, but Wrexham have achieved this with real character and quality.
An epic night then in southwest Wales. Wrexham prevailing right at the end thanks to Karen Allen's winner, 3-2. And delighted to welcome team manager Steve Dale now to Matchday Live. Steve, first of all, many congratulations. What a fabulous win to end an incredible run into phase 1 of the season for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. The running was tough. We knew that we had to obviously keep the pressure on the teams above us. We managed to do that. Obviously a couple of teams have done us a favour as well in terms of results going our way when we needed them to as well. So yeah, it's a fantastic achievement, especially from the start of the season that we had to get into that position. We always knew if we could get it in our hands, we'd stand a chance, and fair play to the girls. They've been outstanding for the last 4 weeks and rightly deserve the plaudits to get into the top 4.
Steve, after a brilliant first season in the league last year, do you feel like the quality of the league has just shot up?
Absolutely. Teams have come into the league, it's got stronger. The recruitment's been very good from other teams as well. We brought in a couple of good players ourselves, and yeah, I think early on, although the results weren't going our way, I thought the performances were very good. And the league's only going to get better, so it's about improving and making sure that we're improving, ready for next season as well.
You seem to have made a bit of a habit, Steve, in the running of late goals. Lily Jones's rocket against TNS to give you an invaluable 1-0 win a couple of weeks ago. And then we were following the match closely when we were here on Wednesday night. We knew it was 2-2 deep into injury time. And then up pops Karen Allen to stick that in the back of the net. It can't be doing you much good in terms of your heart rate.
Not really, no. It's been very stressful on the touchline. But to be fair, you've got to give the girls a lot of credit. They don't know when they're beaten. They've continued to work hard over the last 4 or 5 weeks and rightly deserve to get into the top 4. And yeah, we're hoping that momentum's with us now, and it's a quick turnaround ready for phase 2, and a local derby tomorrow. We're looking forward to that.
Steve, really sad to see the news about Liv Fuller, obviously that injury. How big of a loss is that, not just in terms of obviously her quality on the pitch, but also in terms of her experience and leadership?
Yeah, it's a massive blow, and we're really gutted for Liv. The reason why we brought her into the club is because of that experience and that quality, the level that she's played at, and that experience is second to none really in this league. And yeah, it's tough. She knows what she's got to go through. She's already done it before, and it's a big loss. You don't want to lose your big players. We've had a lot of injuries this season as well, and it's been tough for the girls. But the club will be right behind her, and we're relishing for when she gets back on that pitch.
And now you're in the top 4, Steve, then, so you'll face the top 3 teams home and away, Cardiff City, Britain Ferry and TNS. What are your hopes and aspirations from here forward in these 6 games?
I think we've just got to get as many results as we can. Obviously last season we finished 3rd. We don't think 3rd and 2nd's too far away really, as long as we continue to do the right things. You're playing against the best teams, that's what you want to do, and we know what's at stake. But we're in a semi-final as well. So yeah, at the start of the season this would have looked impossible, but we've managed to get ourselves in that position, and results are important now. We've got to keep that momentum going, keep the confidence going as well, and get as many results as we can.
Yeah, the momentum, you touch on the momentum. I mean, the results of late, that's massive, not only going into obviously phase 2, but like the semi-final you touch on, a real opportunity to get silverware this season.
Absolutely, we said it, last year we got to the Welsh Cup final.
And we're really good.
Yeah, didn't deserve to lose that game against a really good Cardiff side, and we said if we could emulate that and match it, we'd back ourselves to go one step further this year in the Welsh Cup. It's going to be a tough game in the semi-final. Pontypridd, they are a Welsh Prem side and doing really well in the Adran South, so we're expecting a tough game there. It's not given, we've got to earn the right to do that, so really looking forward to it.
Well, Steve, thank you so much for coming to join us. We wish you lots of luck against Pontypridd in that Welsh Cup semi, and of course for Phase 2 starting at the Rock against TNS tomorrow.
Perfect. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Steve Dale, the Wrexham AFC women's manager, joining us. And of course, if you are local and free tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock kick-off at the Rock, Wrexham women against TNS in that first game of the second phase of the season. Wrexham women trying to finish as high as they can. Right, we're building up to kick-off now. You can probably hear the crowd are at fever pitch. 1 or 2 substitute players and coaches just walking past the camera. Wrexham against Bolton Wanderers, and Mia, Andy said it a few minutes ago on Matchday Live. Wrexham getting stuck in early, really important this afternoon.
Yeah, it's massive, obviously, particularly at home. I think, last few games at home, obviously, we haven't been quite at it. We've got to use this atmosphere today. Bolton fans, as you can hear, are right at it. They're going to be backing their team, but massive game today for us. Need that 3 points.
We'll be back here on the same link on YouTube to discuss the first half in 45 minutes time. If you haven't sorted out your pass, head to wrexhamafc.co.uk/live. That'll give you all your iFollow options. But I'll be back with Mia and Andy at half-time and at full-time to discuss how this one has gone. We look forward to you joining us back here then. Half time here at the Stoke Kairas on St David's Day. It's Wrexham 0, Bolton Wanderers 0. A fairly attritional first half. Wrexham having probably the better of it, but chances have been relatively few and far between. These sides cancelling each other out in the central areas, and Wrexham's best efforts have fallen to Sam Smith and to Jay Rodriguez. Both of them coming midway through the first half. Rodriguez having a half volley which whistled just over Luke Southwood's bar. And then Smith with the best opportunity by some distance for Wrexham of the half. Ryan Longman's cross finding the new striker unmarked. He powered his header downwards, but there was such power in it that it bounced up and over the crossbar. At the other end, it took Bolton a long time to really throw a punch, but they did come close twice before half-time. First of all, Josh Sheehan seeing a free kick charge down. It came back to him, and then he drove a shot just to the right-hand side of Arthur Okonkwo's post. And then just before half-time, Geordie Osai Tutu breaking clear down the left, got his shot away, and it skimmed the top of Arthur Okonkwo's crossbar. Mia Roberts and Andy Morell have been on commentary over on iFollow. Mia, have you seen it?
I think, Phil will be happy with that first half. I think maybe in some ways a bit unhappy not to actually be going in with the lead. I think we've had a couple of chances. For me, Longman and Reevan out on this left-hand side, putting in some really good crosses, looking to be direct, looking to get that ball into the box as much as they can. And I think that's what we need to do. I think, when Max and Tom O'Connor have pushed forward, like Phil said in the pre-match, that's when we've looked, a real threat, and we've, really nullified anything that Bolton, have then tried to come out with. But, a lot of positives to take, but I think, can still be better. I think as well defensively, a couple of times maybe just been caught out a little bit too easily. So a few things to work on, but a solid first half.
Andy, you wanted a front foot start from Wrexham. You certainly got that. They were undoubtedly on top in the first 20 minutes, if not creating a huge number of chances.
Yeah, I just felt we got our press a little bit better off. We were more intent about that, which puts us on the front foot, which makes it a little bit easier for our back three, because Bolton are able to play forward balls with any quality then. And then when you sit off, they start to play, and then you find your problems. So I think we've been okay. It's been like two boxers just jabbing at each other a little bit, fine, feeling each other out. Two good teams. So I expect similar to start with, and then maybe a couple of changes might change the format and the way that this game pans out.
I mentioned, Andy, Sam Smith's chance halfway through the first half. Is that going to be one he's going to be kicking himself he didn't get on target?
Yeah, I think so, because it's just such a brilliant ball in by Longman. He puts loads of pace on it, but I think he's facing that way, and you can see the sun is right in his eyes, so it may have played a factor, but he seemed to get up, and then he's had to stoop to then just head it, which then it goes down and up and over the bar. So it's just a bit unfortunate, really, but he's in the right position. He's right in the middle of the posts. Keep getting there more often than not, and you'll score.
Mia, we haven't seen a huge amount from Bolton in the final third in open play, but when they have looked dangerous is when Wrexham have given the ball in midfield, and they've had the chance to break quickly. And Osai Tutu there playing on the left wing has looked a threat when he's had the chance.
Yeah, and I think that, listen, he's going to get opportunities, especially with Longman, busting the gut to go forward, and he has, to be fair to him, he has recovered quite well, but Max has had to do a lot of that recovery work on that right-hand side for Wrexham. But I think, a lot of their chances have also come from when they've hit that long ball over the top, even if it's just been as a clearance when Wrexham have been attacking. We've maybe just misjudged that first one, O'Connell, a few times just losing balance on the turf. But I think that's McAtee's job. That's, he's going to be on O'Connell, trying to just put him off anything. And then the scraps that fall in between, that's for then Collins to try and get on and push forward.
Andy, would you change anything if you were Phil in that dressing room now? I saw him in long conversation with Aidan Davison as they walked down the tunnel. I was just interested. I wondered what that might be about.
No, I don't think so. I think he'll be fairly happy. There was a couple of instances. I think O'Connell slipped on the one chance that Tutu is in on. So I think they'll probably have a word with him, make sure he's got the right studs on. But apart from that, I think we've been okay with our shape. I think we just got to be really brave with it. And like Mia said earlier, if our fullbacks go to their fullbacks, then we've got to make sure we shuffle across Tom O'Connor, or when it's going into their box, both centre halves either side of O'Connell go and be the ones that pick up those second balls off the box, and then we stop their attacks at source.
Andy, Mia, thank you very much for now. I'll let you go and resume commentary duties for the second half. Andy Morell and Mia Roberts, as ever, part of our team on Matchday Live today. They will be on commentary with Mark Griffiths over on iFollow for the second 45 minutes. Half-time here, Wrexham 0, Bolton Wanderers 0, but it does give us a couple of minutes to bring Jamie Edwards back in vision. Jamie, the last time we caught up with you, you were just about to head off with the community team to Lesotho. Looked like you had an exciting week in prospect. Tell us, how did it go?
It was just amazing, really, from start to finish. An experience that money couldn't buy. The development that our staff had, the activities that we did were just phenomenal, and something that everybody will remember for the rest of their lives.
Just remind us of the mission in terms of what you were hoping to achieve from it, and some of the key things that came from it, because I know this was again the partnership with the Kick for Life Foundation, wasn't it, out there?
Yeah, so it dates back to Sean and Humphrey's partnership with Kick for Life FC back in, I think it was early 2024, where we looked to try and develop or co-develop a curriculum that will help football for good, both in Wrexham and in Lesotho. The guys from Kick for Life came over early September, I think it was.
Yeah.
Had a really good week in Wrexham where we started that process, and then this trip to Lesotho was about taking that a step further. We took, I think, a party of 14 out to Lesotho, coaches, partners, loads of different people, developed the curriculum further on the first couple of days, and then got to deliver in primary and secondary schools over the rest of the week, alongside playing a couple of football matches against locals on some really suspect pitches, but that was an experience in itself. And we got to meet the Lesotho Supporters Club for Wrexham as well, so we watched the game on the Tuesday evening, and we were all crowded around a TV in the airport on the way back for the game on the Sunday as well.
So I know before the trip when we chatted, Jamie, you talked to us about the mutuality of this relationship. So if we look now at what you achieved over that week, what do you think the key benefits were dropping out of it, both in terms of the Wrexham area for learnings from Lesotho and vice versa?
Yeah, so overall the project so far I think has engaged well over 650 young people, either in Lesotho or in Wrexham. So the main bit for us is about the development of coaches. So our more senior coaches are part of the curriculum development, and we took two young leaders, Chloe and Leah, across that actually played for the women's under-19 squad. Their development across the week was phenomenal, from where we saw them on the Sunday in the airport to the young people that they've come back. They're more confident, they're more motivated, they're really engaged to basically have a career in community development, which is exactly what we want out of the partnership.
And in terms of the ongoing relationship and how that might continue to develop, how do you see the trajectory from here, Jamie?
I think everyone was really motivated when we got there, and we saw it's by no means third world there, but they still have got some stuff that we can support with, so we're looking to go a little bit bigger and better next year. We'll raise money each year to be able to bring staff across the Wrexham and also take staff to Lesotho. We had Mark from Wrexham Lager go across, who had a fantastic time, and even he's looking at ways in which he can support the project both here and in Lesotho. So we're looking at potentially bringing more partners in to support them. I mean, an example of, they marked the pitch out and they used chalk and they were throwing chalk out. Money can't buy a line marker almost over there, and it'll make a huge difference to a community that really needs it in Lesotho.
And just finally, Jamie, beyond the Lesotho project, what are the other big activities you've got between now and the end of this season?
It's hard to tell at the moment. We've just basically done our 6-month impact report, and the staff within the foundation and within the club have been really supportive, and it really shows the impact that we've had. So we're lucky enough, we're going to go across to New York in a couple of weeks to raise some money through the New York Half Marathon, going back to the Kick for Life link, but also the foundation. Our Street Dragons programme, we're looking at partners coming involved in that. That's up to about 400 people a week now, young people that we're seeing across Wrexham. We want to double that. We're really keen to grow the new projects that we put in place. And then Chloe and Leah on the Young Leaders project, the international one, again, that's something that we want to grow. So it's just really about growth and really delivering high quality community impact.
And just finally, Jamie, if someone wants to find out more about Street Dragons, where would they look?
It's all on the website. Go onto the community page on the website and the foundation, and you'll see all the details there. There'll be more news coming out, hopefully in the next month or so, and a few more videos and case studies.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Jamie, again for joining us. The video of the trip that Jamie and the team made to Lesotho is available now through the club's social media channels. It's well worth a watch, so do check that out. Now, we said today on Matchday Live we'd keep you across the score from the Birmingham City-Wycombe game. That is also a 12:30 kickoff. Birmingham City did take the lead in that game. Taylor Gardner with the goal, and Birmingham leading Wycombe by 1-0 at half-time. If it stays that way, that's good news for Wrexham potentially. Wrexham, of course, all square here with Bolton Wanderers 0-0 at the break. If you missed Steve Dale when we interviewed him before today's game, a reminder that Wrexham's women's season continues tomorrow. That's a 2 o'clock kickoff at the Rock against TNS. That match will be streamed as per all the Wrexham home games in the Adran Premier, free of charge on the Wrexham Club website. But if you can get down, it's £3 for adults and £1 for children. And confirmation has just been received that the Welsh Cup semi-final against Pontypridd United will take place on Sunday, March the 16th at Newtown FC. We're all set for the second half here at the Stoke Kairas. The players are running out behind me, as you can probably see. We'll be back, same place, in 45 minutes' time to see if Wrexham can find a victory. We look forward to speaking to you then.
by number 11, Marriott. And leading the field number 16, Jay Rodriguez. He's been replaced by number 26, Stephen Fletcher. Voting for your Wrexham AFC Man of the Match is now open. Cast your vote on the official club website. Bolton leaving the field, number 20, Ollie Rathbone. Replaced by number 38, Elliot Lee. Substitution for Bolton leaving the field, number 8, Josh Sheehan. He's been replaced by number 4, George Thomason. Wrexham AFC man of the match as chosen by you, the supporters, number 47, Ryan Longman. Thank you all for your fantastic support. Thanks to all of you stood by us, even Chile by down to the Edward. The official attendance in the stood by us, 14,284. That total down to 1,216. We do not rise during the moment. Even the other stood by us, how do we get your wallet and then you roll on with a big guns on action going forward. And around the next one game during the stood by us is on the 8th of March. When Roller organises for us, I have been one match which kicks off with a 3-2-1. You don't get Wrexham will find that up on Bolton and against TNS. Wrexham AFC wins next home game is tomorrow against TNS. Manchester will be over the line.
Very warm welcome back to the Stoke Kairas. Full time here, and it's finished Wrexham 0, Bolton Wanderers 0. So the first goalless draw for Phil Parkinson's side since October. They definitely had the better of the second half, creating a number of opportunities, but they couldn't find a way of breaking through. Bolton Wanderers coming close themselves right at the death. Arthur Okonkwo having to make a good save to deny Aaron Collins. But it's definitely the visitors who will be more pleased at the final whistle. Wrexham were on the front foot for most of the second 45. Tom O'Connor with the best chance of the match, right on the hour, finding himself in acres of space inside the 6-yard box. It looked for all money like he'd score, but unfortunately his shot going over the bar. Ollie Rathbone also came close, and Jack Marriott, on as a late substitute, just missed out on a header and then pulled a shot across Luke Southwood's goal. It wasn't to be for Wrexham this afternoon. Solace will come from the quality of the performance, but ultimately it's a point and not 3. Mia Roberts and Andy Morell have been on comms. Mia, how do you digest all of that?
Yeah, I think you can look at it as a point gained or 2 points lost, really, isn't it? It's one of them, but no, we definitely had some chances in there, and we just couldn't seem to find that last little bit. I think obviously that Tom O'Connor one is the one everyone's going to be looking at tonight, thinking how on earth has that not gone in? But no, I think Wrexham could be really pleased with that performance. I'm sure they'll be really disappointed, instantly on looking back. But over the next few days before they head over to Huddersfield, I think they'll be really pleased, particularly with that second half. I just thought at times we were just really dominated Bolton and just really stopped them at source, and we're really positive on the ball and brave, which is something Andy said at half time. We just needed to be that little bit more braver. And listen, I think George Dobson today was top quality. I thought Mike James as well, and of course I think Ryan Longman got man of the match, didn't he? I thought he was brilliant, but pretty much every man today I thought really did their job and more. So a lot of positives to take.
And on that point, Mia, I mean, Bolton came here having won 5 of their last 6. They were the in-team form in the league. Wrexham had been beaten here by Leyton Orient and Stevenage. So to come out with that sort of a performance against a team in such good form, it might not be 3 points, but it was highly encouraging looking ahead now to Huddersfield and beyond.
Yeah, exactly that. I think, you walk away only with 1 point, but maybe a little bit more, in the legs and in the minds for confidence-wise going into the next few weeks with some big games, especially here, at the Stoke Kairos too. I thought fans were excellent today. I thought the atmosphere was right back up to where it should be, particularly for a 12:30 as well. That's not always the case.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it was a point gained for me because of the performance, the way we went about it. Bolton are in the form team of the league, and we've gone and pretty much that second half we've dominated them, bar the Collins chance. We've pretty much kept them at bay and played our stuff as well and had chances. Yes, we've missed them, but we've still had chances, and so that gives us a lot of belief going forward, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I think the stat, Andy, that I became aware of just before full time, as we have a look at the statistics on the screen here, one that isn't covered on that is that there'd been 26 attempts on goal from the two teams, and until Arthur Okonkwo made that save in the 90th minute from Collins, not one of those had been on target. So for all Wrexham's opportunities and quality in the first 2/3 of the pitch, really, not getting a chance to test Luke Southwood, I'm sure will frustrate Phil Parkinson.
Yeah, well, they did get chances to test Southwood, but they just didn't take them, just put them on target. We've said O'Connor's chance is one that you've just got to score, and he nearly had the redemption, didn't he, right at the end with a free kick that just went the wrong side of the post. But still, you've still got to make the keeper work in more times than you don't, and we're not at the moment. And I've spoken on comms about we just need one of our strikers to start scoring some goals and taking one of these chances that go. And we had Mullin last year do it for us, that really took us over the line, because we could shut up shop, if you like, and defend, and he would get us a goal that would lift us and take us to those victories. And we haven't got that at the moment, and we need one of them to start clicking at the moment.
And clearly, Mia, Rodriguez and Smith brought in to provide exactly that sort of cutting edge. Sam Smith having that downward header in the first half that bounced up and over. Jay Rodriguez perhaps struggling a little bit to have as much impact over the game. How would you assess the two of them this afternoon?
I thought, again, looked really positive. I think there's, again, so much to take from these performances. It's like they just, I know, Smith got that goal against Northampton a few weeks ago, but just hasn't quite kicked on from that. I thought he might, then go on a little run. And Rodriguez just at times just maybe not getting that look on his side. I think he had one in the second half where the cross has come in and he's just not quite read it. I think it was quite good defending from the man in front of him. But it's just like he just needs to put that little foot out and just try and get a touch on it. But no, I thought, again, Rodriguez today, I think, he's gone under the radar in the last few weeks, maybe not had the instant impact he would have wanted to, but I think he did most things right today, and will be happy. Just needs that goal, or just that little assist maybe, just to get him going.
I think overall the Bolton reaction from a supporters' perspective will largely feel that they were nullified by Wrexham today. How important is that as a skill set, Andy, when you're looking at trying to ensure that the better teams you're facing in the run-in don't get into their rhythm in a game like this?
Well, they changed formation in that midway through.
Yeah, they had to, didn't they? With a questionable injury enabling to do so.
Yeah, but you've got to manage the game, and that's what they did today. And they've been good over the past 5 or 6 games, and I think that they've just done that, and that's what they've brought to their game, is just when and where to play, when and where not. I think they overplayed under Ian Evatt a little bit, and that's why they were getting caught. But they're a lot more game savvy, if you like, now, and like they can go to that different formation. They've still got threats up top. Players can play different positions. I think they're going to be in and around it definitely at the end of the season.
Yeah, Bolton Wanderers still very much in the playoff picture. We said earlier today on Matchday Live that we would also keep you across what's been happening at St Andrews this lunchtime. That's Birmingham City against Wycombe Wanderers. Let's have a look at that one, because this one must be at full time. Birmingham City were leading in that game. They still are 8 minutes into stoppage time, so still playing at St Andrews. We will confirm that is a full time when that goes to full time, but if it stays that way, then Wrexham will clearly gain a point on Wycombe Wanderers. Birmingham City doing Wrexham the favour, which will at least be of some solace to Phil Parkinson as he reflects on the fact his team weren't able to find a way through against Bolton Wanderers this afternoon. We're just going to try and bring in an old Wrexham player here, because we've got a bit of a bonus for you. We've got Glenn Little, who's just going to join us on Matchday Live. Glenn, fantastic to see you.
Nice to see everyone.
Thanks for coming listening and joining us.
Yeah,
Great
just well.
have
Sorry,
you
I
here.
couldn't bring some goals with me. But I've been doing a lot of Burnley games this season. I think I'm up to about 15 0-0s with Burnley.
Right.
I went to Reading in the hospitality last week against Birmingham. That was 0-0, and I've come here today, first time since the Reading game. That was 0-0. So the 0-0 curse is following me around. So if you want a boring game,
bring in Glenn Little.
Get me to the game.
Well, Burnley might be wishing they had you today, Glenn, because I see they've been beaten 3-0. They'd have taken 0-0 against Preston.
I did the radio show last night, and in the FA Cup, I've been saying in the previous rounds they've been more like pre-season friendlies, and they got through. But as soon as they got Preston, I thought, no, this is a proper cup tie now. You've got to play your best team. They've already had 2 games against Preston. Last one at Deepdale a couple of weeks ago, tight game with your best team. They've had 2 0-0s against Preston. So I said, now it's serious. You're going to have 5,000 behind the goal there, proper cup tie. And then they played the interview of Scott Parker, and I was a bit worried. I thought he sounds like he's going to sort of make 6 or 7 changes again, and saw the team, wasn't really happy, and then seen the result even worse. So yeah,
bad day for Burnley. But back here at another of your old clubs, Glenn. Great to see you back again. What were your reflections?
Well, the weather was nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had the
You
shades
brought it up
on.
with you.
Yeah, early kick-off as well. But
what's your take on Wrexham?
I was a bit worried at one stage because they said they might have to delay the kick-off half an hour because I was up in the lounge talking. So yeah, luckily we got the game.
Well.
They got the game on
Extended
time.
show tonight.
But no, I think the pitch. Looking at the pitch, I've just had a walk across it, and it does look a bit scruffy from the stand. But walking across it is still probably better than what we played on was. But you can tell.
Charlie's around. Don't say that.
There were a few bobbles that difficult for the players to really get the ball down and play. There was a few chances though in the end. The big chance, wasn't it, in the second half? And hit the bar there. Got to score that. I still thought, well, it's early enough. There will be more to come along, but yeah, in the end it probably, I think Wrexham probably better, shaded it a bit, but did they do enough to win it? Maybe not. Missing an ageing playmaker to come off the bench, was it, for the last 20 minutes and get a win. There's not many of them about anymore, is there? Right. It's all fitness and
we're all aging though.
Yeah, we're all aging, but yeah, fitness, and you've got to be able to run now.
Glenn, when you look back at your time here compared to your time at Reading and Burnley, what was unique about playing for Wrexham for you?
I've said it in the lounge up there. When I came up after 2 days, the club was nearly gone. That to find 250,000 now, and they've just spent that in the lounge, I think, up the stairs there. So yeah, that was straight away. The trust came in, and the supporters managed to get the money to just keep the club going for the season. And then we started off well, didn't we? Dino left then, and then Mozza took over, and the rest was nearly history, wasn't it? I look back, we had such a great time, but I came to try and help the club go up, and we failed really. So it's a bit of both. You failed, but then you had a cup run where we were unlucky against Brighton, went out on penalties. Forget about that, but we went down to Brentford. The Tolly goal, what a goal that was to win us at Brentford.
Yeah.
And then you're losing the playoffs. Yeah, some great moments. That's in 98 points, and then you don't go up. And then you come back the next. I think we lost a few players, some big players in the summer, a lot of firepower. And then the next season, even though we knew, I don't think we were as good, we were still up there for most of the season. And then now you even win an FA trophy, and then you get to you actually make the playoff final at Wembley, and just narrow defeat.
Fine lines, right?
Yeah. I still look back and I forget it was 2-0, because that was just, did Maxi come up for late, and they scored that on. It was the one goal. It always seemed like a game early on, really, that whoever scored was going to win, and they got the goal. But I think it's fair to say the club's more than made up for it since them days. Yeah,
decent trajectory since, Glenn.
I didn't like Pete doing the hospitality. Pete said it was 12 years ago, Glenn. That's not. I don't like being reminded of.
It's a long time, isn't
it? Getting old. Yeah.
Well, Glenn, look, thanks so much for dropping in to see us. We'll let you go on and
nearly enjoyed it.
Continue your hospitality duties, but great to see you back at the racecourse ground, and we'll hopefully catch you again soon. Cheers, Glenn. Thanks. Nice to see you. Glenn Little, former Wrexham midfielder, very fondly remembered in these parts, and a part, of course, of that team alongside Andy Morrell, who went to FA Trophy glory and almost managed to achieve promotion.
That could have been a lot longer.
Football.
We could have been here till about 10:30 if you'd have let him go. So you did well to wrap that up sharpish.
Full time at St Andrews, it's finished. Birmingham City 1, Wycombe Wanderers 0. So Wrexham do gain a point on Wycombe. It could be priceless at the end of the season. So that reduces the gap to 2 points. And of course, Wycombe still to play Wrexham in a few weeks' time down there in Buckinghamshire. So it's very much in Wrexham's hands still to try and put pressure there on the Chairboys. Mia, looking back on the afternoon today, do you think that there's going to be some sense in that dressing room of a missed opportunity as the prevailing mood, or do you think it'll be more a view of saying, well, we got right back on the horse today, we pushed Bolton backwards, on another day it might have fallen for us, there's nothing to be too worried about?
Yeah, I think initially there probably will be that, sort of feeling of disappointment and 2 points lost, but definitely I think as they get closer to that Huddersfield game, they've just got to focus on that performance, which was so positive today. Like we touched on, particularly in that second half, I just thought they're really good, and we've praised Bolton a lot, saying how informed they were, but you wouldn't have known that really from that game, and that's full credit to Wrexham. I just thought we were really on it from minute one, which is so pleasing after a couple of performances that maybe we've just gone below par, particularly at home as well. So no, really, I think really pleasing, and a lot to take from it. And I think we say a lot about it, but you've got to get points from those around you, and Bolton are definitely going to be one that are going to be around us as we get closer to the end of the season. And now it sets up another big tie on Tuesday night. Yeah,
another team right around us, Andy. Lots of Wrexham connections there, ones that you have personally with Jake Edwards, Mark Cartwright, etc. Huddersfield have surprised us probably in their poor form in recent weeks, because it looked like they'd strengthened very much in the January window, but they haven't really hit their straps. Important game, of course, for them this afternoon. But Wrexham's away form with 3 wins in the last 3 trips will take them there in plenty of confidence, I would expect.
Yeah, I think the performance today will set them off on a springboard for that game. But these games against the top teams, they're all decided on moments, really key moments, and it might just be one in them because they're so good. We've pretty nullified each other today. There's just, can you take that moment when it comes along? And today we didn't, but the performance was good, and we had more chances than we've had here recently. I felt we were more dominant with the ball, more on the front foot. I thought our wide ones were really good today, and then they got up the pitch and were able to then cause problems in the right areas rather than back defending. And so that should be a springboard for us to go to Huddersfield. Huddersfield haven't scored at home, I think, for 3 or 4 games, maybe 5 games. So it shows that money doesn't always buy you these goals, because they've spent money and everybody's crying out for buying a striker and bringing strikers. Sometimes it doesn't happen like that. It doesn't work like that. So it'd be really interesting to see, but I'm looking forward to the game.
Yeah, it's one that, of course, a lot of people will be looking at to see whether Wrexham can continue the improvement away from home against a team who are flying higher in the league. It's still, of course, though, a long way out, isn't it? I mean, there's still 13 games to play. Whatever happens on Tuesday, every game at the end of the day is only worth 3 points. So even if it goes wrong, there is still plenty of time to recover it. But psychologically, it would be a big step in the right direction, wouldn't it, Mia, if Wrexham could back up today's draw with a win there?
Absolutely. And, they just get more and more sort of higher pressure games as now we get closer. I think at the moment we're still saying, it's not that big, but I think as soon as we hit that sort of, last 8 sort of mark, I think that's when it, for me, really hits, of that higher levels of importance, and yeah, I think especially obviously with Wycombe dropping points today, if we can get something at Huddersfield, that would put us in really good form then going into, I think it's Rotherham at home then on the Saturday. And then I think there's some big away days as well in there, and I think Stockport somewhere in between as well, so there's some real tasty ones in there, and if you come out of them where we are at the moment, or a bit higher hopefully, then it puts us in real good stead.
We've had this real roller coaster already when you go and perform like we did against Birmingham. It's like, yes, we're right in it, we can get this second spot, and then you're Shrewsbury away and you're like,
Stevenage home.
You're like, maybe we're not quite good enough to get that, and then it's like, we're not quite good enough to get in the playoffs now because of how bad we were the other day. Do you know what I mean? And it's going to be like that for the rest of the season. So one result doesn't define your season, but you can certainly help yourself in that trajectory of getting and aiming for that second spot, if you like.
Absolutely. Huddersfield, the next stop on Tuesday. I can see that Wrexham assistant manager Steve Parkin is going to come in and have a word with us straight from the match. Steve, good to see you. Thanks very much for joining us on Match Day Live. What's the mood in the dressing room after today?
Okay. I think that we're happy that we played better, I think, than a few home games that we've had over the last few weeks. I think we put a really good team under pressure, and we pressed the ball a lot better than we have done maybe over the last few weeks, and created 4 or 5 really good goal scoring opportunities, where on another day then they're enough to win the game. So the mood's a wee bit disappointed, but I think the lads are proud of the way they played and the effort they put in.
Sure. In terms of the opportunities that weren't taken today, Steve, I actually saw a stat that until Arthur made that save in the 90th minute, neither team had a shot on goal. So 26 attempts in the game, and neither keeper had been extended.
Yeah.
Does that add a layer of frustration, or is that not so important?
No, it's important. I think that it's the final piece of the jigsaw, really. We've created good opportunities, and it's our job to make sure that we hit the target. Funnily enough, I've just seen those stats myself, and I was quite shocked, really, that the amount of shots and the amount of efforts at goal there's been during the game, which is a good hard-fought game between two good teams. You'd expect maybe a few more to have hit the target, really, which is frustrating and disappointing as well.
The form that Bolton have been in as they arrived here today, it looked a really tough test, but particularly in the second half, you must take heart from the fact that your team are on the front foot for most of it, and Bolton were having to work hard to stay in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that probably for staff there's nothing in it, really, with a couple of chances, Smithy's chance with the header, and when they hit the crossbar. But second half, I thought the lads played really well. They stepped right onto him, and there was a period during when Tommy missed his chance that I just felt we were really on top. They were making changes. You could see them getting alarmed on the bench, which was a sign that we were doing well. And I think that was the time that we needed to score. That I felt that at that time, that's when we definitely had the Bolton team on the rack.
Just give us your perspective on how you think Sam Smith and Jay Rodriguez are forming their partnership.
Yeah, I mean, I think that initially, obviously, Jay's come in and he's been sub a lot at Burnley, and he's been training hard, and we've done some extra work with him, and it was his best game today. There's no doubt about it. His link play was good. The balls down the side were great. He got in the box and looking not to get across the front of the defender to score. So yeah, he's definitely coming to pie. Sam's got his goal, and the work he does, the tireless work he does for the team, and he is a threat down the side of the pitch, which he showed today on several occasions. So yeah, we're happy. We feel as though that they are, clicking quite nicely and getting better.
Another game, of course, coming straight around the corner away at Huddersfield, another of the front runners. But the recent upturn in away form, Steve, must take you across to South Yorkshire with a good sense of confidence in the team camp.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look back at the Mansfield game, and whilst they, probably weren't on their best run, the structure and the way they played was probably the best away performance of the season. We controlled the game from minute one, and I always felt that even though they'd equalised, it was a game where we were going to probably get the winner and get the 3 points. And I think it was a real performance of away belief, away structure, and I think that the lads are really confident now going away from home. It'll be a tough test on Tuesday night, but it's a great place to go. It's a great stadium to go, and it's one coming off the back of a clean sheet that we look forward to.
Perfect. Well, Steve, thank you so much for coming to join us today. Unlucky today not to get the win. Look forward to Tuesday.
Thanks very much.
Wrexham assistant manager Steve Parkin joining us on Match Day Live as this one finishes. Wrexham 0, Bolton Wanderers 0 on St David's Day in the sunshine. Andy, one of the things that you spoke about pre-match was about flip-flacking, I think in your terminology, Ryan Barnett and Ryan Longman in this.
I don't know where I got that from.
No, you can.
Sounds all right, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say put a trademark against it, Andy, and we'll see if it gives you some revenue. I just wondered, looking ahead to Tuesday now, short term round, and of course it's Saturday, Tuesday again, Rotherham, then Reading. Do you think Phil Parkinson will be tempted to change this team fairly consistently here forward, 2 or 3 changes each week, or do you think he's going to take a view that says I've got my starting 11 now, and I'm going to, bar injuries, pretty much stick with that for the next few games?
Great question, because I'm not too sure, and I'm glad I'm not the one that's going to have to pick it, because Longman was great today. He put some wicked crosses in, got man of the match here in front of the fans. And so, do you take him out for Tuesday? I don't know if you can do that. Do you know what I mean? But do you just go right, Barnett, McLean, in you go, off you go, fresh as. Yeah. And you can take the game to them, and they're so important in our system that maybe that's the way forward, and you're just going to have to speak to them, get them all 4 or 5 of them in the changing rooms and just go, listen, this is what's going to happen to end the season, be ready, because you could go in at any time.
George Dobson and Max Cleworth, Mia, are 2 players who in recent weeks have seemed to have barely missed a minute for Wrexham. Both again very strong today, and the temptation, I'm sure, for Phil Parkinson will be to keep playing them as they go through. I guess there will eventually though be a point to say, is there a question around fitness or around freshness that might just need to trigger a change?
Yeah, and I think particularly Max, I feel like he has just been involved in every single minute since the start of the season, really. And it hasn't really shown, which is full credit to him and his fitness levels. I know he had that little injury sort of knock earlier on,
22
a few months ago.
Should be flying.
No,
he should want to play every minute, surely.
But in terms of his performance levels, I just think he's really stuck at a solid sort of 7 out of 10 every single game or more. Especially obviously adding his goals to his game as well. But yeah, it's full credit to obviously the likes of them two in particular, their fitness levels and their work off the pitch and off the training pitch as well. But yeah, I think like Andy says, it becomes such a difficult question, doesn't it? And what do you base it on? Do you base it on performance levels in training in the week, or just obviously performance levels on a Saturday or Tuesday nights?
Some tough calls ahead. I can see Owen O'Connell is ready to come in and join us, the Wrexham centre-back, to give us his thoughts on today's game. Hello, Owen. Thank you very much for coming to give us your reflections post-match. How do you feel after that one?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good performance in terms of certainly at home anyway. I thought really took the game to them. We spoke in the week about wanting to be a bit more aggressive and taking control of the game, and I thought we did that. And I felt in the second half there, if we got the first goal, I thought it would have kind of went 2 and 3. But they're a dangerous team. They have a few chances on the counter at the end. But yeah, it was a good game to play in, and yeah, we're happy with the performance. I think if we play like that from now to the end, I think we'll be all right.
Did you start to feel partway through the second half it's going to be one of those days when a few chances came and went, or is that not something that goes through your mind as a player?
Not really, I don't think, because we've scored so many late goals, especially here.
Sure,
and,
yeah.
We always, no matter what the score is, kind of keep going to the end of the game, and you can almost feel it coming. And obviously we had the chance with the free kick right at the end where you think maybe this is going to be it, but it just wasn't to be. So we'll just take the point and move on.
The fact that Bolton were in such good form, Owen, coming into this game, I think a lot of Wrexham fans coming in today who I spoke to said actually probably take a point today against the form that Bolton have been in. The fact that you've been on the front foot, particularly for so much of the second half, does that give you an extra level of confidence in terms of where the team is at and how you're evolving going into this final run-in now?
Yeah, I think so. I think they were in good form, but I think we're in decent form ourselves. I think we've won 3 out of the last 4 in the league, so we were confident coming into the game. We obviously wanted to, like I said, be a bit more aggressive in the game and take a bit more control, and I felt we did that. I think the first half was probably a pretty even game, but I think we did put them under pressure and probably had the better chances. And but yeah, they're no slouch. They're a very good team. We seen them early in the season. They've been on a good run to beat a good Leyton Orient team last week. So yeah, I suppose, look, it is what it is. Now we'll take a point, clean sheet and move on.
It's the first time we've had a chance to chat to you on Matchday Live, Owen, so let me just ask you something slightly different. How have you felt about this season compared to your previous couple of seasons at Wrexham? Because obviously when you arrived, I think you played at Altrincham was your debut in the National League. The team have come a long way since then, but how does it feel to be part of the squad compared to the previous seasons?
Yeah, I've loved every minute, ever since even those away days at Altrincham. Since I come, I've loved every minute, and yeah, this season we knew coming into this season it was going to be tough. There's a lot of very good teams in this league, and we knew we had to be on our game. But look, I think after that now, I think Wycombe lost today, so
they did.
What, we 2 points behind with 13 games to go. So I think if you offered everyone that at the start of the season, we probably had taken it. So it's a great place to be in. And yeah, I love playing here. I love playing at home, and the fans are great. And yeah, I've loved every minute at the club, and hopefully long may it continue.
Perfect. Well, Owen, thanks so much for joining us on Matchday Live. Hard luck today on not getting the win. Look forward to seeing you on Tuesday at Huddersfield.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Owen O'Connell, Wrexham centre-back, part of a team who ensured a clean sheet for Wrexham this afternoon. Let's have a look at the league table. Of course, only 2 matches played thus far on Saturday today, with most of the fixtures 3 o'clock kickoffs as per usual, but Wrexham and Birmingham both with early kickoffs this afternoon, 12:30 starts here and in the Midlands, and what that's led to is Birmingham City's victory over Wycombe Wanderers ensures that their crusade to the Championship continues. 76 points from 32 games there for Chris Davis's side. They are home and hosed, you would think, in terms of returning to the Championship, but perhaps more interestingly, Wrexham edge up to within 2 points of Wycombe Wanderers. That defeat there for Mike Dodds' side giving a little bit more of a strong feeling on the shoulder for the men from the southeast as Wrexham continue to put pressure on. 2 points behind. Stockport County will play later today. Huddersfield Town in 5th are Wrexham's opponents on Tuesday night. Bolton Wanderers edge their way into the playoff positions with that point, although of course many of the teams just behind them are yet to play today. Let's have a little look at the next set of games. This is the midweek series that Wrexham will form a part of. Most of these games on Tuesday night this week. Wrexham with a journey of around about an hour and a half or so across to face Huddersfield Town. You can see that fixture there, 5th one down on the schedule. Blackpool facing up to Peterborough. Bolton, today's opposition, might prove tricky for Birmingham City, but from a Wrexham point of view, a Birmingham win is undoubtedly desired in that second game. Cambridge squaring up to Stevenage. Charlton face Barnsley. Lincoln against Crawley. Mansfield face Wigan. It's a trip for Stockport to Northampton. Rotherham face Leyton Orient. Shrewsbury up against Bristol Rovers. Reading against Exeter. And Wycombe, well, that might have been one they fancied a few weeks ago at home to Burton Albion on Tuesday night, Mia, but Burton improving massively under Gary Bowyer, and 3 ex-Wrexham players might be able to just do us a favour in that game.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's ex-Wrexham making the difference, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Wrexham reserves doing well.
Absolutely, but hopefully they can get a result. Maybe see a little Anthony Ford goal or something against Wycombe. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? But no, it just feels like, looking at them fixtures there, it just feels like the sort of ones at the top are there's at least one big game each week now that you feel like they're coming up against each other who are near and around it. So everything feels so important, and it's only going to get more intense as the next weeks go by.
Andy?
Yeah, I think looking at those fixtures as well and listening to Owen speak there, we tend to forget that we've got the second best defence in this league at the moment. You know, we haven't conceded that many goals, and they've been really good to set us on a platform and a basis and a foundation for us to go and win so many games, especially here. Maybe the last couple of weeks with a bit of chop and change in between them, but they've certainly got competition for places. They're certainly earning their stripes. You know, to keep a Bolton team out that are going so well, to keep a clean sheet is an exceptional performance from those 3 at the back, and hopefully that will keep us in good stead. We just need to sort out maybe just scoring 1 or 2 at the other end to just get us over the line.
I think that is for sure the summary. Mia, Andy, thank you very much for your company as ever today. We'll be back, of course, here next Saturday when Rotherham United are in town. Huddersfield, though, come next on Tuesday evening. But today, the Wanderers arrived in North Wales as the form team in League One. Wrexham tried to unlock the door of the visitors, but I'm afraid the away side firmly kept the bolt on. For all of us here at the Stoke Kairas, diolch am wylio on St David's Day. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.